Hello, I'm Katie Walker, and today I'm going to be talking about depression. I know that there's a lot of different ideas out there about depression. Is it a chemical imbalance? There are so many people that are actually diagnosed not only with depression, but something else called treatment-resistant depression, which is typically a definition to where people have tried at least 2 medications to try to address their depression, and they have failed or not seen positive benefit from these medications, so they're actually considered treatment resistant. So depression is the #1 disability in the world. And with depression, unfortunately, there are a lot of different service lines that are out there that are just ineffective for depression. So one thing that we're seeing with depression specifically is depression seems to be a blanket diagnosis, meaning that most people at some time during their life can get diagnosed with depression. And then unfortunately too, in the mental health space, up to 80% of people can be misdiagnosed with a mental health condition. So some people may be diagnosed with something called chronic fatigue syndrome, other people with depression, other people with, just several different diagnoses that may exist to where you feel like you are often becoming that diagnosis. So the neat thing with ketamine and with psychedelics is the whole thought process is changing. And instead of looking at chemical imbalances, we're actually looking at your brain as being data networks. So when data comes in, how does your brain perceive that data? What does that look like? And what we're seeing with ketamine and psychedelics is it's actually allowing the brain to auto-regulate a lot of different pieces. We're actually seeing that a lot of the neurotransmitters that are in our brain, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, all these different guys that are constantly in our system, we're seeing that they actually can travel together. And a lot of them are not traveling by themselves. So anyone who's out there on antidepressants such as SSRIs or SNRIs, a lot of times you're being told that you have a depletion of serotonin. If you read about serotonin specifically, serotonin is maximally produced when we are under levels of stress. And then serotonin oftentimes comes from our gut, not our brain. So what we're seeing with ketamine and psychedelics is the brain is able to auto-regulate a lot of these different pieces to where your natural serotonin stores can start rebuilding themselves over time. And then serotonin, believe it or not, is also very much so connected to diet. So amino acids that come from different types of meats and such. A lot of people may just have a diet to where they're depleted of serotonin. So I'm doing these videos today on depression specifically, and then we'll keep doing these different topics: depression, anxiety, anger, irritation, PTSD or trauma, whatever you want to say each of these are. But what we're going to do is do a lot of these education videos to where you can choose what you want to read about, what you want to look at. And then we're going to implement them with some reading material that's actually peer reviewed, so individuals can start naturally educating themselves more outside of a practitioner's office or outside of a therapist's office, to where you can really start to understand a lot of this data that's coming up that's really going to change everything. It's very, very positive, because right now we are living in a society that is just ridden with mental illness, literally. It's everywhere. And a lot of it's everywhere because we just don't understand exactly what the brain's doing. But fortunately for us, ketamine and psychedelics are showing us a lot of hope for help. And once we're able to address these issues, a lot of people are going into remission of their symptoms. So if you're struggling, there's always somebody out there who's willing to listen. And I know it's hard to reach out sometimes for help, but the more you can see that when you're struggling, if you feel kind of that heaviness or the weight and you need somebody to listen, we've always got people, some of our team members who are willing to do that. You can always schedule a consultation with one of our individuals to where we will listen to you. We will give you advice based upon what we think is best, based upon what the science is showing. But then if we're not able to meet your needs, we'll also help to give you referrals in the communities. So if you're struggling with depression, if you don't understand, if you've been on several medications, I would encourage you to reach out and do a consult. And then also, I'm putting a link in here that will actually have all of those different pieces with the different pieces of depression information as well. So Hang in there if you're struggling. I appreciate you listening to this video. And should you have any questions, feel free. You can always comment on these as well. Thanks so much.